Hello and welcome to Competitive Crunch. My name is Spade and today we're gonna take a look at some news from the Smogon front, more specifically the ban of Blaziken and Deoxys-N. And now if you're a fan of the competitive Pokemon scene, I don't think this ban really comes as a surprise, but I thought this would be an interesting topic to talk about today since it is really the first official ban by Smogon on their tier system ever since they made their first initial ban list. And on this series I would like to follow how the Smogon tiers are developing, because that's the tiers that I and also a lot of other people play by on the good old interwebs and stuff. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it and check out what's going on with Deoxys-N. And I will leave a link in the description for this topic, so if you want to read all these details more specifically, look into them, you are free to do so by checking that link in the description. So, but Deoxys-N, like in the past, it is way too powerful, and its move pool is freaking amazing. And what you usually just know about is that it carries Psycho Boost or maybe Superpower. Then it also has access to Fire Punch, Hidden Power Fire. There's also Extreme Speed for that priority. So even if you try to check it with weaker priority, you are not always guaranteed to do so, because it can, the Deoxys-N can also be carrying the priority move of its own in form of the Extreme Speed. And of course, for extra coverage you could be running like Ice Beam or Thunderbolt, so those are your options also. And then on the support end of things, you have access to Taunt and Stealth Rocks, and you could also be running like Spikes and Magic Coat. That's not really a popular choice, but you know, that is still an option. And I think also it could be running like Dual Screen. I think you see that said, I think in the Uber's metagame somewhat, but you know, it still has all these support options. And you know, coupled with the fact that it can easily set up hazards, and if you try to you know, spin or defog them away, Deoxys-N is of course, you know, again backed up with those awesome coverage moves of choice, so it can kind of just destroy those possible spinners or defog users like Mandibuzz and Scizor here. Just as a few checks, but you know, Mandibuzz can get destroyed by Ice Beam, Scizor with Hidden Power Fire or Fire Punch. So they're only really just decent checks to it. And right here, Aegislash and Scizor are mentioned as checks, but again, you know, Deoxys-N may be carrying that super effective move, and at their best they are still only checks, and Spiritomb is not really too relevant in this metagame. It has never really been, and it didn't really change too much significantly, and not to mention it doesn't have a reliable recovery move, so there is that. And of course Deoxys-N is fast as heck. It has 150 speed, of course coupled with 150 attack and special attack, so it can just pretty much outspeed everything and destroy the whole metagame with its awesome coverage that it has, and the move pool. And of course the Extreme Speed is mentioned here again, because you know, even with priority you may not be able to even check it, and that's really the biggest problem. You know, the best things that can deal with it are still just checks pretty much, so it's just extremely difficult to deal with. And when you couple 4 powerful attacks with Life Orb, it is just an extremely powerful Pokemon, but it does have the option to run all sorts of different sets. And of course with Focus Sash you can kind of make up for its mediocre, really, well, its bulk is really poor. You could just outright say it, like base 50 defenses and HP, but it does have the option to be just running Focus Sash, and at a lead spot, when you couple them with 4 powerful attack moves of choice, you have a really dangerous Pokemon in your hands. And Deoxys-N, just like in the past, it's pretty much as powerful as it was back in Gen 5 and Gen 4, and it continues to be overpowered and a nuisance that it was only a good thing that Smogon got rid of it, but definitely a good thing that it was being tested in the new OU tier just to make sure. But then, let's move on to Blaziken. And in the last generation, Blaziken of course gained the speed boost ability, which it can still utilize, and now of course it also has the mega evolution. And it just seemed really weird that why would you give something as overpowered as Blaziken a mega evolution, although that's not really the only reason really why Mega Blaziken got banned. Now, in fact, the regular Blaziken coupled with Life Orb is still more powerful than the Mega Blaziken. But what Mega Blaziken has is higher speed stats, so after one Protect and getting one speed boost, it is able to outspeed some certain Scarfers that it wasn't able to do in the past. But you know, this of course not the main reason, like I said, because Blaziken, you know, still has the incredible coverage in fire and fighting that is only resisted by a few things like Jellicent and Slowbro is mentioned in this little discussion, but they still don't like work in this metagame the best. And of course Blaziken could be running a Stone Edge for an extra coverage move, but of course that's not really the best thing, but you know, it's still an option. And when there's something like a Talonflame right now, which is a really good offensive check to it, you know, it's only a check, especially coupled with the Stealth Rock weakness. Talonflame is at its best only a check, and to be honest, you don't really need to even talk about Stone Edge, as Talonflame still gets hit really hard by stab, high jump kick for sure. And the same thing goes for Azumarill. It is, I'm pretty sure Azumarill is still coupled with the new Fairy resistance. It is still 3-hit KO'd by high jump kick, so it is still only a check, and without a choice band, Azumarill can even one-shot Blaziken. But of course Azumarill is a great check to Blaziken, but that is all that it is, a great check. And yeah, like I said here, Jellicent and Slowbro aren't really too relevant in this metagame, so yeah, and if you are forced to run something that's really not the best thing for the metagame, you certainly have an overpowered Pokemon in your hands. And Blaziken of course has the access to Sword Stance, and with that its dual stab moves are just absolutely incredible. And you know, besides these few obscure things right here, Jellicent and Slowbro, and then the other two checks in form of Talonflame and the freaking whatchamacallit, Azumarill, it pretty much just destroys the rest of the metagame. So once you just set up one Source Dance, which you have easy access to do, because you know, few Pokemon mentioned here, it can deal with Aegislash, Scizor, Tyranitar, Ferrothorn. Aegislash is like a decent check to it, but again, Aegislash is a check, but against Scizor and Tyranitar, it can either one-shot these things or then just set up a Sword Stance in their face. So, or not maybe Tyranitar, but still it has so easy time setting up a Sword Stance, and when you couple that with Protect and Speed Boost, it's going to be outspeeding the entire metagame pretty much after 2 Speed Boost, and then it's going to be destroying the entire metagame. And it doesn't always even need a Sword Stance boost because it is so powerful to begin with, but when you couple that with Sword Stance and with the easy access to it, and coupled with Protect and Speed Boost, yeah, it outspeeds everything and it just destroys everything. So, and also, here's something else that is mentioned here, is that in the past, you know, you had infinite rain, which was a good way to at least check it, but now you don't have infinite rain, so that's something that you need to worry about too, because you know, Blaziken coupled with the Protect, it can just outstall some rain turns, and you know, again coupled with the fact that there's no infinite rain, and because if you set up your Rain Dance or your Drizzle earlier, then you come back in with your Politoed, it will not reset the rain turns. So if you have if you set up a Rain 4 turns ago, then you bring out Politoed on the next turn the rain will just wear out, because the rain does not reset as you bring out your drizzle user, in this case Polytoad. So the rain is only serves as a check, and a check it was in the past, but now even more so, because there's no perma-rain. And you know, these new Pokemon mentioned here, Aegislash and Klefki, they are really popular, but you know, even they are only checks. And besides, like Thunder Waving, Klefki can't really do anything. It will just get destroyed by a powerful stab, super effective Blaziken and its Flare Blitz. And also, besides the Mega Evolution, Blaziken now also has the opportunity to Baton Pass those speed boosts, because in the past generation it was an illegal combination to have Baton Pass with speed boost, but now with the fact that Mother can also pass down egg moves, it means that Blaziken now has access to a speed boost legitly, so I can also Baton Pass away those speed boost and attack boost from Sword Stance and speed boost. So that also gives it a new option that it wasn't able to do in the past. So that just makes it even more of a nuisance. So if you just if you're actually facing something like Slowbro or Jellicent, you just Sword Stance on the switch, then you Baton Pass into something that is able to take them on. So of course that's not really the best thing going for Blaziken, and that's not really the main reason why it got banned, but you know, just saying it's a new option that it can do that it wasn't able to do in the past, while it was still overpowered in the past, but now it has all these new options on top of all the past things that made it broken, even just more so. And I think that will pretty much wrap things up for this random episode. I thought I would just share the news, kind of give some of my thoughts, and just basically try to read what's on this topic, pretty much to share the news with you people. It's just the usually when Smogon bans something, there's always an outrage with the fans on the interwebs, and they're like, why did Smogon ban this and that? And then people don't really bother reading why Smogon did so. And usually the reason is that people just don't know what's the real difference between a counter and a check. And especially with Blaziken's case, there are lots of ways to check it, but that's not really enough, because you need a bunch of solid counters for it to be balanced. And the fact is that there's not really too many good checks or counters around, and Blaziken just destroys the entire metagame besides those few obscure things. So that's something that's not just really good for the metagame, so it really needed to go. That's how it was in the past, and that's how it still is. And of course, you know, I'm sure somebody is gonna make the argument about why not let Blaziken be in the OU tier. But of course, if you would let that happen, then you could make that argument about everything. So why not let every Pokemon be used in every specific tier, but just with specific limitations? And that would be opening the Pandora's box, and that is something that we do not want to do, and that is why no Blaziken. But of course, you know, something that people forget is that you could simply ask your opponent, hey dude, is it okay if I use Blaziken? I'm not gonna be starting a campaign that Blaziken should be OU, but, you know, would you mind if I would use it? You still have the option to ask your opponents, but this is something that people usually just disregard, because they go on an outrage about getting Blaziken in OU without thinking what the actual consequences would be. How would that affect the metagame if everything could be used everywhere with specific limitations? It would be simply a cluster F of things. But with that, I will conclude this random rambling, and I will continue to bring you news updates as we get them. This was actually already posted like a week ago. I just saw this like last weekend, but I've been just busy with everything. But anyways, I shouldn't be rambling, so thank you so much for watching, and until next time with something different, this is Spade, signing out. Peace!